I'm Mr. Giant and I'm going to be upgrading the freedom fighters to fit into more other forms of media. The freedom fighters are from an alternate world where the Nazis won World War II and there being freedom fighters against them. They're also, in the main continuity, they fought against the Nazis in the Golden Age. They're also now one of Plastic Man's most iconic superhero teams. And it would be good having a whole superhero team that stands for true justice the American way, since Superman is standing for true justice in America tomorrow now. Uncle Sam is the physical embodiment of the free spirit in America, and him being powered by the free spirit of America is what makes him so powerful. That Condor was raised by condors and can fly like a condor. Devilman was the first small superhero even before the atoms started shrinking at the time. And the human bomb constantly blows everything up, and him being a human bomb, which is why him wearing a special suit, but him still being able to blow himself up at will, like a bomb. And Phantom Lady has phantom powers, and is one of the most iconic members of the Freedom Fighters. You can just make it her granddaughter being the modern day teenage Phantom Lady, and Phantom Girl, being her descendant from the Legion of Superheroes future. To explain why there being so many Phantom Women in the DC universe and why they're being so similar to each other. The Way is now one of the most iconic Freedom Fighters members, and he is iconic in other things too. He's also one of the members of the Justice League of America, and I would go with the DC Rebirth version of him. With him being a metahuman that's allergic to light, so him needing to live in the dark, and him being lonely during it, so him deciding to go out one night. And because of him being a metahuman, it saving his life, so him getting light powers from him being allergic to light. With him becoming a superhero in the same way, with him saving his best friend that he hasn't seen in a while, just him joining the Freedom Fighters afterwards. You can just make it being because of the same reasons from his DC Rebirth comic book, and because as of him being the grandson of the original Ray that joined the Freedom Fighters, and his brother being the 90s Ray. And Plastic Man is one of the most iconic superheroes in and out of the Freedom Fighters, and you would go along well with the Elongated Man, and you would need to give the same powers to Sue Dibney, and he does have a son and called Offspring. It would be good an Elongated Man being able to be a superhero with his wife, Elongated Woman. And I would combine Batman the River and Bold's origin story of Plastic Man with his original origin story, and it also being because him wanting his son to be proud of him is why him stopped being a criminal and becoming a superhero. And his son would be proud of him in the end, and he is a member of the Teen Titans.
I give you my word, I'll take full responsibility for O'Brien's rehabilitation.
Hang in there, Bats. I swear I won't let you down again.
The Elongated Man is different enough from Plastic Man, but since he is similar to Plastic Man, he should usually show up with Plastic Man, because of them both having families and stretchy powers. But Elongated Man is a detective. You should also make it that Elongated Man finally has a kid with his wife Sue Dibney, and part of their kid's origin story is them becoming a superhero with stretchy powers after his parents die and coming back as crime-fighting ghosts, which actually happens in the comic books. But him getting his happy ending with his parents by him finally being reunited with them and them being brought fully back to life. And for the villains who usually fight against, I would go with the Batman the Brave and the Bold version of Robinette and Freckles.
Watch where you're going!
Jester is iconic for being a clown superhero instead of being a joke-themed villain like the Joker or Trickster. He comes from a long line of super villains, but he decided to become a superhero instead. You can just flesh it out even more with his grandpa being a member of the Freedom Fighters, but his dad fought against the Justice Society, so that's why he became a member of the Freedom Fighters and the Justice Society with his sister. It'd also be good if you made, there used to be a team with his sister being a cop and her being the reporter, but then she wanted to do more with her life, so she became a cop when she got older. And when he retired, he became the reporter because of him being a cousin to Lois Lane's family. and him being inspired and bonding with her over it, because the Justice's real name is Chuck Lane and it sounds similar to Lois Lane. Part of him faking being a supervillain was him joining the Laugh Pack and having a relationship with Harley Quinn there. And you can also do something good with the Jester because of the Jester being a superhero version of the Joker from Earth's Crime Syndicate world. With the Jester on that world being a part of the Justice Underground fighting against the Crime Syndicate. And specifically going up against Owlman and from the Crime Syndicate on that world, which is that world's version of a supervillain Batman. So that is a good thing to know about them, especially since the Freedom Fighters originally came from another world and is well known for being from another world. So you can make it absolutely right into the main DC universe, them just fighting against the Nazis in World War II, and that this Lord Jester was partially inspired by Earth's good guy Jester to become a superhero instead of a supervillain. For him and his sister from his long family of supervillains, and also from his grandpa who was a superhero. Because if there be an alternate universe where the Justice League are supervillains and guys like Lex Luthor and the Joker are good guys, then anything could happen and anyone could be good.
I'm down to my last joke anyway. But this one'll kill ya.
It won't be in vain, old friend.
Don't get in my way.
To the contrary. I'm in.
If we're really alike, you know this is wrong. You must have been a good man once.
No, not good. Never good. After all, I'm only human.
For Silver Ghost, you need to combine all the versions of them into one. That there was a Golden Age hero called the Ghost that the Grey Ghost was inspired by. It's inspired someone to take up their cowboy ancestors' superhero identity. It was an ice villain to the Freedom Fighters. It had a suit that let him use ghost powers. But his granddaughter became a superhero who joined the Freedom Fighters and has a high-tech metahuman key that lets her hack any vehicle, who actually has ghost powers. And some of the same ice weapons that her grandpa used to fight against the Freedom Fighters as a member of the Freedom Fighters. And for the Great Ghost, you can just make it that he was partially why Clayface wanted to become an actor and part of Batman's inspiration in the comic books too, for why he became Batman just along with Zorro, and Alan Scott's Green Lantern, and the bat that came through his window. And you just putting in how Batman helped him in Batman the Animated Series, the foreign media that created the Grey Ghost, into the comic books. And that Clayface even managed to act in a movie along with the actor who originally played the Grey Ghost in the foreign media, Simon Trent. Because of it in the comic books, because Simon Trent was based on Adam West and his career as Batman and from the 66 TV show. It's managed to get Adam West Batman to appreciate how good it was in being Batman and knew how big an inspiration his Batman was to Kevin Conroy's Batman. Him also being a lot of other people's Batman too. It even saved Adam West Batman's career because of him voicing other people that were similar to Batman in other cartoon shows. Then Simon Trent became an acting mentor at the Gotham College. And Batman would still be a fan of him in the modern day. With him even bonding with his other Bat-Family members by seeing episodes from his show that he saw when he was a kid with them. Simon Trent would die of AIDS like how Adam West did in real life in the comic books. Then there would be a Mad Bomber in Gotham City who was a teenage fan of the Grey Ghost and would be based on one of his villains, the Mad Bomber. Just be doing this to show how bad Gotham City is, because Gotham City has treated him terribly. He lived in Gotham City his whole life, and so many terrible things has happened to him in Gotham City over the years. But then after Stephanie Brown convincing him Gotham City is a good place and that he should have hope, and after stopping him and by talking to him and making sure him not going to jail for it, him becoming a superhero because of him being inspired by her and also because of him falling in love with her. He would try to get her to fall in love with him, but then him just accepting that her not falling in love with him. And also he would try to get him to stop being a superhero, so he would find out that it's good him being a superhero. He would set out at it being a loser at it, but then he would become good at it after him stopping some supervillains. And he would become the Grey Ghost specifically because of him being a big fan of the Grey Ghost and him doing it to honor the guy who played the Grey Ghost in the comic book's death. This way, you're making the Grey Ghost from the Batman animated series episode into a fully formed character, you being able to use him more, and you being able to use him to honor Adam West specifically. And you would also get rid of the offensive version of him that was created in Stephanie Brown's Batgirl comic books. And for the Rose guy, they could go up against apocalyptic forces because of them being freedom fighters, so it's perfect them going up against a dictator. Especially since they can help the new guys in the Justice League go up against them. Knockout could usually fight against them along with Scandal Savage because of Scandal Savage being her girlfriend. And Scandal Savage could go up against the freedom fighters too because of her being immortal, so it would be good at them having some immortal villains because of them being around since World War II. Scandal Savage could go against the freedom fighters to try to prove herself because of them being similar to the Justice Society, but her usually going against her father as a superhero.
Which means Mad Mod is just as fake as everything else in here. Time for a reality check.
Oh, yeah, this is definitely the real deal.
I fear that this time his brain is gone forever.
Beast Boy had a brain.
Dude, that's not funny. I totally have a brain.
Stop! Don't get out! That tickles! Oh, stop it!
Robin! You are unwrinkled! Robin?
Huh? Where did he...
Batman, it's really you. Well, it's a long story.
I don't know how you survived, but I promise that you'll pay for your crimes in full.
Do your worst, child. I'm immortal. I can't be killed.
We'll see.
All right, son. Start singing. And I'd better like the tune. I'm glad, son, because I want you.
You mean to join the Freedom Fighters? Really?
Freedom spirit never dies. That's a lesson you are about to learn the hard way.
And because of them being similar to the Justice Society of America, the Golden Age first superhero team, because of them both being iconic for being from the Golden Age, and because of them both being iconic for being war heroes, you can just do them working together with the Justice Society during the Golden Age, and them usually working together with the Justice Society in the Modern Age. This way it would show how good both of them are, while also acknowledging the similarities between them. You also bring together war heroes, the Golden Age, and different parts of DC of you doing this. And the Justice Society is more than just a superhero team, it's a family.
No, only the Master can wield the spear.
Prove it, nerd!
Now, I'll show you what a nerd can do, you decrepit dope!
Let's dance, Poindexter.
Ah, nerds.
Lights out, creep.
That's the right prescription, Doctor.
Creature Commandos is a superhero military team made out of monsters that works for SAID, a superhero government for DC. Them going with monsters because of it striking fear into their enemies. And because of them being monsters, them being immortal, so that's how them surviving into the Modern Age. So you should also do them fighting with the Justice Society and the Freedom Fighters at that time. And it would be perfect since James Gunn is doing a cartoon show about them in his new DCU.
Who made us monsters, Shreve? Made us fight your stinking war. That's something we can understand.
But those dinosaurs are simple creatures living the only lives they know. We'd like to keep it that way.
Sergeant Rock is one of the most iconic military figures in the DC universe who's a good guy. DC did a bunch of war stories back in the day, and Sergeant Rock was the main character of a bunch of them. And that's the great thing about Sergeant Rock, him just being a soldier in the DC universe filled with superheroes. The thing that makes him so good is because of him just being a soldier that works together with superheroes. And them just calling him Sergeant Rock because of him having a will as hard as a rock. He faced a lot of tragedy in his life, and he lost a lot of his loved ones, which made him harden into a rock, but because of him having a will as strong as a rock, and refusing to give up on it, and him still fighting, and him still being good afterwards. So you can just say him being a part of the military that worked together with the Justice Society and the Creature Commandos during the Golden Age. But because of him being much younger than them at the time is why him still surviving into the Modern Age, him just being more age challenged afterwards. And him still being able to do the work of a soldier, him just being in a more leadership role. And G.I. Robot is a robot built to help them win the war against their enemies. So you can just do him working together with Sergeant Rock during the war. And because of him being a robot, that would explain how him surviving into the modern day. With him actually having a friendship with Sergeant Rock, and with him actually Sergeant Rock actually starting to care about him. You would also show how G.I. Robot became more human over time because of it, and he is also a member of the Creature Commandos, so you can just do him showing up with them, if him ever showing up again in other forms of media. And it would be especially good now because G.I. Robot is always supposed to show up with the Creature Commandos in James Gunn's DCAU cartoon show. So this would be a good way to show some other superheroes along with it. And to show all parts of World War II at DC Comics.
G.I. Robot sacrificed himself, not just for us, but for every mother and child back on the home front. Let's make sure his sacrifice was not in vain.
And the Haunted Tank is a tank driven by the ghost of General Roosevelt. That is a good superhero vehicle to have because of it being a tank and it being also good as a weapon because of it having the firepower and it being built like a tank. So it is good it connecting him specifically to the military, and him being a ghost means you being able to connect him to the Creature Commandos. It would also make sense him being with the Freedom Fighters because of him being a ghost of a historical figure.
Mother of pearl! A haunted tank driven by the ghost of Jeb Stewart!
Well, Batman, it looks like this old gal isn't quite ready for the scrapyard yet.
But this one is. Thanks to the haunted tank.
An enemy ace is an ambush soldier, so you can do him having something to do with Sergeant Rock at the time. And G.I. Zombie is a zombie that works for the military, so you can have him have something to do with the Creature Commandos and G.I. Robot. And you can make it that the Black Hawk started out as some people being superheroes who lived together, then them becoming a cop agency, then them doing their own parts of the military. So them being a superhero part of the government that acts like cops, and them already being a member of the Justice Society, so it's good them being with the Justice Society. They could be the guy that gives the Justice Society the advantages of the military. And they do already have Lady Blackhawk, who took up the mantle of the Blackhawks, with the Justice Society and the modern day Justice Society team.
You better let me do that.
Self-destruct sequence cancelled.
Can't fix everything by hitting it.
It was worth it.
Simon the Gorilla is a gorilla that was a soldier in the military. He did always show up in James Gunn's Peacemaker so it would be good him showing up in other forms of media too. You can just make it him working together with Sergeant Rock. And because of there already being so many gorilla villains in comic books, it would be good there being a gorilla superhero like Simon the Gorilla.